I mean, it says in the thing, like, legal ramifications.
Right.
But being killed, I imagine, would have been the legal ramification.
You would have thought that, you know, with a kind of tyrant like Putin, that would probably be the result of that. So wait, Prigozhin is being sent to Belarus. Is that as part of the deal?
So that he doesn't have to face any criminal actions for what happened today. I mean, it's been an interesting short spell. I mean, this is part of why this has been an interesting day. So it took this Wagner group 7 months to take over the one military win in Ukraine, and yet within a few hours they started to make some good headway into Russia. This is going to play really badly for the morale of the Russian soldiers. I mean, good it's going to do this, but the Russian soldiers, imagine finding out this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting one, isn't it, Nicholas? Because, you know, ultimately we have this situation where, well, this is good for Ukraine, isn't it? Because you've got Prigozhin, you've got the mercenaries turning on other Russians. And my understanding is that that this Prigozhin's beef wasn't with Putin, it was with the military leaders and the way that the war was being run, basically.
Yeah, exactly. He was very heavily criticizing the Russian Ministry of Defense and the Minister of Defense, Shoigu.
Yes.
He said actually his declared aim and his convoy marching towards, advancing towards Moscow was to get those people in the Russian MOD and punish them, because they had been complaining for a long time that they had a hard time in Ukraine because they were not properly supported in terms of ammunition, and they even accused the Russian Ministry of Defense of bombarding their forces.
Right, but it does, I mean, it just reminds you never to trust mercenaries, right?
Yeah, it feels like you shouldn't be surprised if they're not loyal, because there should be a word to describe someone who's mercenary. Oh, wait a minute, it was on his business card all along.
It was obviously going to go badly, but we're going to move on to another story. Sticking with Russia, though, so on the front cover of the Sunday Express, Nick, what are they going with?
We've got a beautiful image of Princess of Wales playing tennis.
Nothing
against
to do with Russia. She's not involved. She's not one of the mercenaries.
No, but
we should
understandably, in a Russia-heavy day, they've gone visually with that picture.
Yes.
And we just heard about it in the news. But Russia on the brink. Obviously, we heard it's a humiliating move. It's been a humiliating 24 hours for the Russian president. And, of course, now Western media are speculating about dissent, which is to be taken with a pinch of salt.
Is it? You don't think his time is up? I mean, this kind of thing does shake his authority somewhat, doesn't it? Because the whole thing about Putin's shtick is that he's the big man. He wrestles with bears. You know, he can't be outgunned. But this looks kind of bad for him, doesn't it?
But can he not, as I was saying, blame it on the Ministry of Defense? Because Prigozhin was very careful not to accuse Putin himself, and ultimately he might have been persuaded by the Belarusian president to leave, because he realized that Putin came out and called it a stab in the back.
Yes.
So ultimately Putin can say, you know, it was beef between Wagner and the Ministry of Defense, and he played the super partes.
So does Putin still have the confidence of the Ministry of Defense? I mean, this is the thing, like, all leaders need to have their army on their side, don't they?
Yeah, and to look powerful and strong, especially when you are a strongman leader. And I think one of the problems that won't be addressed here is that on the Wagner Telegram group, I don't fully understand how one can access these things, but Prigozhin was saying, you've been lied to. This is not a war that was done in defence. Ukraine were not about to attack us. So the fact that then the deal is he just goes to another country and kind of cracks on with his life, it makes Putin look weak. It makes his accusations look true.
My understanding is that message from Prigozhin didn't just go out on Telegram, it was out on Russian state media as well. So these people now, the Russians are for the first time hearing this idea, because they must have been getting just, let's put it mildly, one side of the story from Russian state media. Now the idea that the invasion of Ukraine wasn't necessarily legitimate. And this does shake things up for Putin, doesn't it?
Yeah, but to what extent? Not to the extent that the Westerners want, who want Putin gone tomorrow.
They want him gone, right,
Yeah, as if then, we don't know what happens. Things might even get worse. But as you say, interestingly enough, we've seen videos of citizens of Rostov-on-Don, which is one of the two major cities that Wagner captured, actually shouting Wagner's name, presumably showing sympathy with their moves. Whether with their bravery in Ukraine or with this mutiny, we don't know, but they have had a lot of popular support.
It's all happening so fast, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and it feels so like a surprise. Like 2 days ago, we were not predicting that this would be a turn in the war, which is one of the things of wars. I guess they're unpredictable, but who knows if this is going well or not? I mean, whoever replaces Putin might be worse than Putin. Is the best outcome a weakened Putin?
Good point. I don't think we should make predictions, because you and I have a bad record on predictions. I think we were both on the same programme saying that absolutely no way would Vladimir Putin invade
My record is immaculate.
So
my record is immaculate.
You predict as well as Greta Thunberg, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that.
Yeah, we both said there was no way he'd actually invade, and we were wrong on that occasion.
It's quite a big occasion, you know, I think. But